Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by leaving 2 comments, and sincerely thank those who've been leaving 3 or 4 comments, like really. I know it does help with the algorithm, but I'm always shocked when people actually do it. And those of you who have subscribed as well, hello to all of you. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. It's been a very weird last 12, 13 hours or so. For those of you who were not here during the weekend, taking a little cryptocurrency break, Bitcoin was around 54,000 and 57,000, jumped to 58,000, give or take, and then we kind of flew up to 61,800. I believe that was the exact number where Bitcoin went. And then we started kind of teetering off a little bit and rested around $60,000 somewhere within that area. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says $120 billion gone from the crypto market as Bitcoin drops to $58,000. Ethereum slumps. I wouldn't even say slumps. It was already there before. Ethereum was at 1,800. I think rose to 1,950. So I don't really consider 1,800 a slump if it was just there 3 days ago. And Binance coin is currently around 250, give or take. So a lot of the news was focusing on Bitcoin fell, Bitcoin went down, Bitcoin couldn't hold 60,000, Bitcoin did this, and Bitcoin did so and so. And I found it personally a little odd because once again, just based off of mathematics and logic and simple, like not even going into like the macro supply and demand, just basic numbers. You know the numbers. I don't have to repeat them for the 38th time. We should not be anywhere below $100,000 in Bitcoin's price. So the news once again kept on focusing on the fact that Bitcoin fell, technical analysis and technical so-and-so, and Bitcoin did this. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's something else. I don't think technical analysis at this point is saying or telling us that Bitcoin has to be below any distinct number because a chart happens to show so. So here's what kept on popping up as well. If you look at the news for the last like 6-7 hours, which also makes sense because I guess they are further ahead on the globe and therefore they've woken up and therefore this news has been released and it is now being given to us, if you want to say that. It says a senior government official in India has reportedly stated that the country would be proposing a stringent law banning the use of crypto. For those of you who remember last week, remember we had news at the beginning of the week, somewhere around that time frame, where we got news that India was planning on not banning cryptocurrencies. And remember in that video, I shrugged. I might have even rolled my eyes once or twice because I said it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to tell you a whole different bunch of things that I may have said before, but if not, I'm going to make sure to reiterate them just so you really completely understand. India has been talking about banning Bitcoin since around 2017, like a literal not a fake 4-year period. I mean like an actual 4-year period. Since around the middle of 2017, they've been proposing the idea that they wanted people within their borders to stop using cryptocurrencies. Why? It's because their actual fiat currency, their actual paper currency is garbage. The government makes sure to inflate the money, whether that be to devaluate their currency to try and get more people to come into the country, which is also a thing for those of you who did not know that. I'm talking very fast. A way that governments try to stimulate their economy, if you will, is by devaluing their own currency. China does this quite often. If the currency is way too strong, no one really wants to go to that country to do business. So you make sure that it's attractive enough against the US dollar that people simply go, well, this is a really good place where we can set up shop. The laws are so-and-so. We can make good money. So the governments devalue their currencies in this sort of way. But I think that type of devaluation has kind of gone out the window and their local currency is absolute garbage compared to other world currencies. The US dollar is already bad, so just imagine one that's actually like, imagine garbage, now imagine what's at the bottom of garbage. How much, like it just has to smell absolutely terrible. So when Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies started skyrocketing in 2017, a lot of people within other major parts of the world began to get into the cryptocurrency space. One of the major places, it was India, China, Japan, and South Korea, I believe, were kind of like the, I almost said trifecta, quadrifecta. Not really sure what word to kind of give it. All these countries jumped in very heavily. China was the first one to come forward and say, hey, no, stop. No one can touch this. Stop it right now because their currency is also garbage. And they're trying to position themselves as a world powered leader, if you will. But that's an entirely different discussion. The idea of India came down to the fact that people realized quite quickly, hey, there's an alternative to the money that we have that keeps losing value, that our government tells us that we can and cannot use. This was also around the time when India was getting rid of their largest currency note, like the largest paper bill that they had. They said it was because of anti-money laundering and so, but I think it had to be another form of control. So since around 2018, we've had whispers that India apparently or allegedly was going to be creating their own central bank digital currency. And I told people back then, and I'll tell you all now, there's no central bank digital currency on the planet that is going to outshine or outdo or outrun or outpace Bitcoin. None of them. They are going to be digital versions of the crap that we already have now. That's the nicest way of really putting it. Governments are not going to come up with some new economic policy that's any different than the one that they've had the last 100 years to actually help save their currencies. They're going to digitize it because they think that you simply want digital forms of payment, and this is why you are in the cryptocurrency space. So over the course of the last 4 years, India has been quite adamant, and I think that they are, how do I say this? Swayers of the market. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. In that, at the end of 2017, but well before the bubble popped, we had about 5 or 6 different countries who came forward and they were like, ban. And then by the time we got to the beginning of 2018, in a coordinated strike that I told everyone was happening, and now looking back, it was quite obvious, once a week, not more. Once a week, there was a new country that came forward basically stating, it's not right for us. We're going to make sure that we clamp down. We're going to so and so and so. And that was kind of the popping of the bubble. We even went over that before, where the people within the United States actually allowed the Bitcoin futures to go through because they wanted people to be able to short and or bet against Bitcoin. And that's why our bubble popped. We would probably have gone to around $30,000, maybe $40,000 before the frenzy got a little bit too crazy. The point being, India has proposed and unproposed and proposed and taken away and reproposed and unproposed about a good 56 times. That is I feel like that's the actual number over the course of the last 4 years. I didn't write it down. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely over 30. Where they continuously put forward the idea, we're going to ban it. And then someone else gets a hint of something and they go, well, there actually is no ban. And they go, oh, yeah, there's no ban. What are you talking about? A week later, someone else puts a proposal forward and says, we're going to ban it. The next week, I'm shocked that people forget these things, how easily people forget. It's kind of like the people from BitConnect. Like, they helped to drain these people's wallets. And then when BitConnect fell apart, these people went back to their YouTube channels and were like defending them, like, he helped me make $150. And it's like, no, like, so the entire point is, this appears to be the reason why Bitcoin fell in price. And I say that I'm shocked because we've gone over this many, many times. India has never really been in the cryptocurrency market. It is a very small percentage of people who live within India who are actually within the cryptocurrency space. And I mentioned to you before, should there be a ban, these people will simply move up and go away. Our market's price is not because of trillions of dollars entering our market from India. We have actual metrics for that. It's usually like a couple million per month or somewhere around that area. Not to diminish their buying power or anything like that, but it's more so telling you, we are not currently at this price because everyone around the world is expecting India to be able to get into the cryptocurrency market. We are at this current Bitcoin price because of supply and demand, because of the supply that's not there and the demand for Bitcoin that continuously rises. So any idea that we would have fallen in price, which I think we actually probably did because of stupidity, fallen in price because of a proposal for a ban on crypto, which we've had multiple times before, should have no impact on our market. When we have an actual ban from India, which I do not think is ever going to actually come at this point. If you want to ban something, you ban it. And then you see where the wind takes you. It's been 4 years. When we actually get news in this timeline that they are banning cryptocurrencies, we should not drop by 1 cent. Why? Because those people were never in the market to begin with. It just doesn't make any logic escapes people quite quickly. And I think even more so within the cryptocurrency space. And once again, I'm taking this as I assume that this is the reason why the cryptocurrency market fell, because many different websites are also talking about this as the actual reason why Bitcoin fell in price, and thus subsequently why the rest of the market also slumped as well. According to a Reuters report, the proposed bill in India can be one of the world's strictest amongst crypto and would not only criminalize possession, issuance, mining, trading, and transfer of crypto, but also leave a big dent in the crypto market in Asia. That's a lie. The news that we've gotten before from India, and I believe it was the last year, if not 2019, not really sure the time frame, been home for a very long time, was that I believe in 2017 and 2018, the central bank said that there was a ban on Bitcoin within the country, which is also absolutely terrible because they also stopped hundreds of millions of people from being able to get into the market. And then we heard, I believe it was from the Supreme Court, who was like, no, there's never been a ban, which also then ties into that entire narrative of banks constantly telling people not to get into something. And then years later telling other people, hey, we've been into this the entire time. Why didn't you buy? So then we got news that it was not Novogratz, maybe Tim Draper. It was one of the higher ups in the cryptocurrency space, like, the really rich bigwigs, who I think put forth a $5 million aid proposal to one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges within India, and I think 2 other ones also reopened. It was ZebPay or SebPay. I don't remember. But since then, whenever we get news, it's never really about India. Yes, of course, there are people within India who are trading and using and buying and selling cryptocurrencies, but they're not a huge enough portion of the market that should, it's realistically, it's maybe. No, I can't even give you a proper number. The entire point is, it says 19 has pushed people to seek alternative payment routes, and India was among the countries witnessing a growing population of peer-to-peer users. They probably realized very quickly, hey, there's a lot of people who are not trying to use our currency anymore because it's absolute garbage. The proposed bill, one of the world's strictest, would criminalize possession, issuance, mining, trading, and transferring of crypto, said the official who has direct knowledge of the plan. The anti-crypto measures are in line with a January government agenda that called for the banning of all cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, while building a framework for an official digital currency, their own central bank digital currency, which is also going to be garbage. But recent government comments has raised investors' hopes that the authorities might go easier on the booming market. The bill would give holders of cryptocurrencies up to 6 months to liquidate, after which penalties would be levied. They do this every week. It's Monday? It is Monday. Happy Monday to everybody out there. We are going to hear by next Tuesday or next Wednesday that some other proposal has been put forth to go easy on the space. I'm not sure why they do this. If India is barred in any way from continuing to be or entering further into the cryptocurrency market, our market will still prevail. I can almost promise you that. Just based off of logical numbers that we have right now. It'll, of course, be a hit to the market. Oh boy. And I get angry because I think people should not be restricted in any country from being able to do what they wish with cryptocurrencies. Sure, tax them. Fine, regulate it. But don't tell people you can't use computer code. That is one of the most dystopian things in the entire world. And there are a lot of countries who are trying to go in that direction. But the overall point to be made is that here's the Reuters article. India to propose cryptocurrency ban penalizing miners. We've had this news several other times before. All the time. This isn't anything new. So I'm not sure who sold off their Bitcoin, but bless your heart, because you need to know how the market really works, because it is incredibly frustrating to continuously imagine sitting beneath a tree and one day something hits you on the head. You go, ow, oh my gosh, what was that? It's an orange or an apple or a pear, whatever your favorite fruit is. You sit underneath it the next week and something else hits you in the head. You continuously do this once a week, over and over. 52 times you've had something smash you on the head and you just simply don't know why. It's kind of the same exact thing. Like, how have you not learned yet that these governments are doing anything that they can to try and scare people out of the market? Every single other company and institution and bank and central bank who has tried to scare the market before, they're all now into crypto. What does that logically tell you about these central banks and the other government leaders around the world who were trying to ban crypto? They're probably in it themselves and they're trying to scare you out of the market because of greed. You'd be surprised what people would do for an extra dollar, for one extra dollar, to make sure that their bank account doesn't say 999,999, so that it has that clear 1 million. You'd be shocked what people would do. Anyway, it says Bitcoin pulls back on report of coming India ban. I sincerely hope not, because that would be the dumbest thing that's happened to us this year so far. Oh boy. So if you were wondering, I mean, I'm not in the future yet, but in the future, if the prices have continued to fall, it is because that people further in the West have woken up. As you know, we have timelines and they are now spooked by this news and therefore prices have fallen. If prices begin to rise, it's because logic has entered the market and people go, why were we afraid in the first place? But I guess that's just how things are. I guess on top of that, if you want to really throw some logic back in the space, Real Vision Finance co-founder Raoul Pal, who is a mega Bitcoin bull, says a $1 million price tag on Bitcoin could be in the cards for this bull cycle. In an interview with Peter McCormick on the What Bitcoin Did podcast, the former Goldman Sachs executive says that the 7-figure mark is his peak bull cycle target for the flagship cryptocurrency if the Bitcoin chart goes parabolic to the extent in its previous cycles. A lot of people are looking back, as always, look back at history to see, you know, it did that, maybe it'll do it again. It did it again, maybe it'll do it again. And mathematically, this is where we keep getting these really weird numbers from the 288,000 Bitcoin to $315,000 Bitcoin, because they're doing multiples of the previous bull runs, and this is where we kind of land on the charts. It says, I've peaked at 1 million, but not for this cycle, but it's possible that we overshoot. So I just used a regression line and used a trend of the logarithmic scale, and basically it says somewhere between Plan B's stock to flow model predicting 400,000 is right, but it could actually hyperextend to get as high as it did from the trend in 2013, which would go to 1 million. So I think it's skewed slightly higher than people expect, so I don't think it gets to 1 million, but we've got institutions coming in. We know how the dynamic changes. I'm fatigued with talking about the effect that all these people buying up tons of Bitcoin is going to have on our market price-wise. I'm not sure if we're in for it for 1 million this cycle, but I mean, also, once again, in 2009, 2010, I could not have told you that Bitcoin being worth a penny was ever going to 62,000 US dollars. It just seemed like a, you know, not even an impossibility. Like, it's, I think you've been inhaling some type of fumes that is making you hallucinate to believe that this number on a screen is going to go to $62,000 kind of thing. But these were also heavily in the news as well. Once we passed by like 60, 61, 62,000, a lot of people have been pushing out the numbers where they think we could go. Any dip that, and I need to stress this, any dip that we have in the market, I know will be at some point short-lived, but it's more so I make sure to tell you and bring you the news so that you understand that the market falls sometime, especially if you're new here. Hello. That the market falls because of stupidity, and it's because of irrational fear. And that irrational fear causes other people to sell off their coins. And we've seen before, every single time, not once, not twice, not thrice, not quatrice, which is also not a word. Every time that there's a sell-off and people on this channel or other channels also sell off their coins in a feared panic rush, we get news that an institution bought up $35 million worth of Bitcoin. We bought 1,114 Bitcoin. It happens continuously, all the time. So it's more of a, if you do sell just understand that there is a chance that we are going to push back up in price, and therefore you will never be able to buy as much Bitcoin as you previously had before. Anyway, that's the Raoul Pal news, if you will, and let's move on. The market cap of Bitcoin recently rose above $1 trillion once again. Wonderful. Now the asset has surpassed the total market cap of the South Korean won. According to data from Asset Dash, the Bitcoin market cap is around 1.05 trillion at the time of publication. This exceeds the money supply of the South Korean won, which is 1.1 quadrillion Korean wons as of the December 2020. There we go. And is currently valued at $1.04 trillion. That's the news. It's more so whenever Bitcoin's total value surpasses that of other fiat currencies around the world, this is normally when we end up getting that kind of news. We used to get it before for, I think we got it for the Russian ruble, we got it for the this, and we got it for the, I forget, there was another coin last week. I didn't include it in the news because I was like, sure, why not? But people seem to love this news. We are going to eventually surpass every fiat currency on the planet. But I guess maybe it's like a bit of an adrenaline rush to hear it as it progressively happens, because there's like a chart for it and it shows exactly like all the other. If you think the Indian currency is bad, you look at the other countries, like they're like ranking like 194 and stuff like that. It's just absolute complete garbage. So yeah, cool. This is going to continue to happen because supply and demand, math, and logic. And without further ado, let's move on. I figured this was going to happen, and I assume this is not the last one. The team at Tether has announced that they will be launching their Tether tokens on the Solana network. The integration will allow USDT users to utilize Solana's impressive speeds, of 50,000 transactions per second with a fee as low as 0.00001 cent. So that is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of 1 cent per transaction. Such efficiency, particularly vital in the world of DeFi, as explained below in the team. They say with this integration, USD holders, speed of transaction, they facilitate the speed, high-speed DeFi space. I still think that Tether is doing this to be more decentralized, if you will. They put a portion of the amount of Tether that they have onto a new blockchain. They've been doing this for a while. Like I said, this is not going to be the last. I assume they are probably, I don't know, I'm not there, in talks with many other larger blockchains to do the exact same thing. I assume at some point Tether will be on around 30 different blockchains as an insurance policy, if you will, just to make sure that should something happen to another blockchain, they still have their supply, because there's a huge amount of Tether floating. Like, imagine if there was $38 billion worth of Tether just on one chain, as opposed to like 35 chains. You get a lot more insurance. Anyway, cool. I hope they continue doing what they're doing, because they're Tether. I don't know. Anyway, what a weird video. Let's move on. Next up, in the coolest thing that I've heard in a while, the Georgia House of Representatives have passed a bill that calls for state education officials to implement a study program based around financial literacy, for high schoolers and cryptocurrency on its curriculum list. The bill passed the lower chamber of Georgia on the 8th of May by a vote of 169 to 2, who those two people were, bless their hearts. The bill was sponsored by 6 Republican candidates and has been sent to the Senate for further deliberation. The program outlines 16 areas of financial literacy to be studied by students in the 10th or 11th grade, the bill states. The State Board of Education shall prescribe a program of study in personal finance literacy to be completed by students during high school. One of my main qualms, pretty sure it's qualms, with going to school or high school or whatever level you decide to call it, was the annoyance of getting into my 20s and being like, taxes? What's a taxes? I remember hearing people talk about taxes, but we were never really taught proper financial literacy. I remember I had an economics class and it was mainly this guy throwing stuff around because he was so annoyed because we didn't get these terms because he didn't take enough time to try and make sure that we learned the terms. It was more of a, it's on the board, write it down, memorize it. That's on the test, as opposed to being like, hey, this is inflation. This is how a stock works. So I think this is absolutely great. Here's the actual bill right here on a Legiscan. Yeah. Georgia House Bill 681, GAHB 681. Right here. Very cool. I hope it passes. I hope it goes through. I would love if this was a mandate. I know that they have a lot of university courses to learn about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. This is clearly the future. Even if Bitcoin does not succeed, there will be other coins that rise from the ashes. Cryptocurrencies are not disappearing or poofing anywhere anytime soon. So they're going to be around. And I think it would be, nay, I say imperative that young people right now, or everyone right here, learn about them because, the future and all that. And you should know about money. You should know what inflation is. You should know what it means to be deflationary. You should know why things rise, or what this is, or what a security is, or what a commodity is, or what an equity is, or why certificates of deposits through the banks are terrible, and why, interest rates. You should learn all these things like you should be mandated. I'm sorry, Jimmy, you got a 40 on your test and you're going to have to redo this grade because you have to learn this for your real life. Like, it's just things that we have to do. Anyway, that's the Georgia House bill. Hope it passes. And then I hope other states are like, oh, wait, education? We should do the exact same thing because, logic. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up in what? That's crazy, Goldman Sachs. Wall Street giant Goldman Sachs says returns on Bitcoin have been blowing away all other financial assets throughout the year. According to a report by CoinDesk, the historic Wall Street firm began including Bitcoin in its weekly rankings of global asset class returns at the end of January, when Bitcoin quietly appeared at the top of the chart. Since that time, Bitcoin's lead over other asset classes, including stocks, bonds, oil, gold, etc., has continued to widen. Apparently, according to Goldman's U.S. weekly Kickstart report, as of the 4th of March, Bitcoin's year-to-date return was 70%, more than double that of the energy sector, which has the second place position with a year-to-date return of 35%. And that's because of allegedly recovering oil prices, but I also think that's also a farce. You can easily make something look like it's being used by the public, or, remember last year when we kept on hearing that by summer, remember this, that everything would be back to normal and things would be as they were before and the economy was going to recover. And then by like September, we had news that like 35 million people just within the States got evicted. Anybody remember that? No. Remember the lie that we were told? Remember oil prices going negative because nobody was using them, and no one's still using them. So, Anyway, Goldman Sachs says that we're doing just fine. The numbers also show that we're doing just fine and have more people getting into our market all the time. And even if we did not, it may take us an extra year or two to get to where we're going, but 900 per day, 2,700 just from 3 companies. So just thought I'd throw that into the mix because it seems to be my daily saying at this point. Anyway, that's the Goldman Sachs news because of course, because they know money and they know numbers and logic. Let's move on. And to finish things off, there's a woman flying with her umbrella. Over the past few months, Bitcoin has increasingly been positioned as an alternative hedge against fiat devaluation and other negative market events. As a result, many companies are warming up to the crypto asset, with alt sharing the limelight as well. The latest firm to join the bandwagon happens to be one in the clothing business. Wow. Custom apparel maker Rush Order Tees, that is TEES, has announced its intention to convert $1 million of its cash reserves into Bitcoin as well as Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies over the next 2 months. According to the announcement, the firm is a believer in Bitcoin and blockchain technology. On that note, Rush Order T's CEO Mike Nemiroff, a longtime crypto hodler, has said, making this investment is our opportunity to be on the cutting edge of something that has the power to forever change global commerce. Wonderful. Here's the actual, what's it called? What? Press release. Why do I always forget that? Press release from them. The future is now, old man. Rush Order T's to invest $1 million in cryptocurrencies, and then they have Dr. Evil saying $1 million. So, happening all the time. It's just that, once again, we are sometimes fortunate enough to have a company go, hey, I want you to know what we've bought. But for every one company that's buying in the open, there are 9 others who are buying in secret. Just thought I'd throw that back out there. So good for them. We get this news every single day because, that's just how it works. So hope everybody's prepared for the future. And I mean that like in a very literal sense. Oh, we've dipped again. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbite University, and Carlos was like, Mo Barazi, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Crypto Style, Pattern Noster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mo Hermeroni, oh gosh, NET, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D, 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Chest every day, and Kyle keeps skipping leg day. Yes to crypto. Bodie McBoatface. Try not to laugh. Anytime Fitness Monks. Why? Bodie McBoatface. Anytime Fitness Monks Trainer Staff. Arfmedic17. Bake me a cake. That does sound delicious. It does. Tigara Machanisa. On Crypto with Lionel. Crayola Michelle. URL. And Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. I see more and more of you every single day. I do thank thee. Thank you to everyone who left a comment, who left a like, who left another comment, who left another comment, who subscribed, to everyone who's still here listening to me say words out loud into a microphone. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently down by 8.6%. It is at $55,667 US dollars. Ethereum is down by 7. Binance Coin is down by 8. You get the point. Any anomalies? VeChain Thor is up by 2.3%. What happened here? There was like a really weird spike. There was some other coin as well tried to pop up. It was Nem. Nem also tried to pop up. What a weird pop-up. Algorand is up by 4. Hedera Hashgraph H-bar is up by 2.4%. Engine Coin, is up by 26% as well. Wonderful. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Never a dull day in the cryptocurrency space because our market don't have no logic. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope don't have no logic. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day. A great morning. It's sunny. The weather said rain for the next 3 days, so I'm kind of might go for a walk. Thank you all once again. Hope you all have a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly it's gone. Be talking to you all soon. See you.